I ripped that baby from her arms. I have to justify it. What lie will save me from this? How do I justify ripping that baby from Vicky Alford's arms? My report has to be airtight. I'll say she was unstable, a danger to the child. My career, my freedom, it's all on the line. Corporal, I had to take the Alford baby. The mother, Vicky, was hysterical, screaming and fighting. She was out of control. How do I justify taking Vicky Alford's baby? This report has to be ironclad. I'll say the mother was unstable, a danger to the child. No, too vague. I'll claim she resisted. I had no choice. That should cover it. Corporal, I had to act fast. Vicky Alford was unstable. I had no choice. I pulled the baby from her arms for its safety. She's dangerous. Please, back me up.
Out here ruining families' lives, impulsive like a Talibani terrorist. Sit back and watch me ruin your career, you little fuck goat bitch. Whisper, play it cool, to back up like it's tactical. Outcome pre-written, posture saying factual. Try point pressure looking almost mathematical. Contact feels official, narrative irrational. Use child as shield, that's a high-risk sentence. Needs clear depiction, not a patched up inference. Claims like that demand visual correspondence. You got none on record, say it for the audience. You don't test the premise, just inherit the conclusion. Then you layer in the language like it's legal restitution. Infant use the shield, that's a high-risk attribution. No shred of visual data to support the resolution. Confidence gets loud when the evidence is thin, so you amplify the volume, call it discipline. But the footage, don't forget where the timeline begins, and the story falls apart where the facts should have been. You don't need aggression when assumption does the work. Just a whisper, then a lunge, then a narrative that perks. Then a report gets drafted, then the timeline gets blurred. Then the language gets upgraded every time it's rehearsed. Every phrase polished, every claim gets refined to the paperwork cleaner than the truth left behind. But the body cam don't edit when you run it in time, and consistency collapses where the facts misalign. You don't test the premise, just inherit the conclusion. Then you layer in the language like it's legal restitution. Infant use the shield, that's a high-risk attribution. No shred of visual data to support the resolution. Confidence gets loud when the evidence is thin, so you amplify the volume, call it discipline. But the footage, don't forget where the timeline begins, and the story falls apart where the facts should have been. Write a quick supplement, get it filed before the show. Say reasonable force, hope the judge don't look below. But the structure start to wobble as your credibility erode, and your logic deconstructs soon as the truth get exposed. Sequence misaligned, but the confidence elevated like procedure self-approves when the order's violated. Frame by frame review, every claim interrogated. Where the act before the label, that part was never stated. You said shield, but the clip shows none of the sort. Only thing you guarded there was the version in the report. Say she fought police in front of kids, that's your retort. But the only thing she fought was your timeline distort. You don't test the premise, just inherit the conclusion. Then you layer in the language like it's legal restitution. Infant use the shield, that's a high-risk attribution. No shred of visual data to support the resolution. Confidence gets loud when the evidence is thin, so you amplify the volume, call it discipline. But the footage wanna get where the timeline begins, and the scroll falls apart where the facts should have been. You don't read the moment, you impose it pre-curated. Then you retrofit the record till the gaps are decorated. Confess it off your chest for the public, try and save some face before the lawsuit hits and your post-certification gets erased. Mm.